right, here we are. We're back. We got a good one today. Mr. Greg Olsen's joining us. Where you at?
In Charlotte.
Charlotte
full time now. Charlotte's our home.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me. It's been a long time.
It has been. What are you up to?
I was kind of offended. I saw your episodes and I was like, geez, I must have really fallen to the bottom of the barrel here. I mean, I saw a bunch of your guests. I mean, I know
I hate asking people. I hate it though.
I get that.
I feel like I'm putting people out, and it's just.
I get it. Well, here we are.
No
harm. Here we are, man. Well, I appreciate you having me on. Looking forward to chatting.
Yeah. You're in Charlotte. You're doing. I mean, you're doing all kinds of stuff now.
Man, Kara always says.
Are you ever home?
Who, by the way, says hi. Yeah, I'm actually home a lot. Most of the stuff that I do, I'm fortunate. The only thing I really have to travel for is the games, as you know. So I really just have to travel. We'd go out on Saturday and be home on Sunday. But during the week, I'm home. I'm taking kids to carpool. I'm picking up, dropping off, coaching all their sports. Kara always says I'm busier now than when I actually played because I got to say no to everything.
Yeah.
And I was just never around. So I would just literally play football and come home to them.
Exactly.
Now I'm like Mr. I say yes to everything. I'm coaching 12 teams. I'm picking up carpool. I'm doing podcasts. I'm trying to call games. It's like, what am I doing? It's like I'm the worst retired guy ever.
It is. I mean, you didn't take much of a break though either. I mean, you went straight. I mean, you were doing games while you were playing.
Yeah, 2017. Yeah, so 2017 on my bye week, I called a game with Fox with your boy Burkhart and at the time Charles Davis, and then 2019 I called another one on my bye week, and then I mean it was always something that I knew I'd like to do. I did some of the XFL stuff back in 2020 before COVID hit and shut the league down. So I'd always kind of toyed with it and I liked it. I know me and you had kind of texted over the years about just our experiences and whatnot, and so I ended up signing actually a deal with Fox before I finished playing. So I signed that deal in 2020, played my last year in Seattle, and then just jumped right into it. So just finished my first full season, and I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I didn't take a lot of time off. I think it made this fall a lot easier than maybe it otherwise would have been. It gave me something to do. It gave me something to work at, and keep me from just losing my mind.
Have you liked it so far? The whole schedule. So are you traveling on Fridays for the most part?
No. So what really worked out, I mean, I hope it lasts, is, during COVID in 2020, none of the broadcast teams were allowed into the facility. So everything went virtual, everything went Zoom. So all those traditional production meetings that we've all done a million times that usually happened either at the hotel or in the home team's stadium, practice facility ended. So our crew decided this year we didn't want to do all the testing and we didn't want to get COVID tested every week and go through all that nonsense. So we did all of our meetings virtually. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, virtually from wherever everyone was living, we would jump on with the opposing coaches and teams and we would do production meetings. So then we would fly in Saturday, and my crew was super cool and flexible. We would do our production meeting or dinner, later in the afternoon or in the evening. So to get to an East Coast city, it was easy for me to get there. So the travel was actually very minimal, all things considered.
That's great. I mean, whenever I was talking to Fox after Chicago, it was the traditional fly out, be there Friday for practice. So sometimes you're leaving on Thursday night and then Monday. And the new thing sounds good. That's a great schedule.
Yeah, when I signed up for it, the understanding was that's what I was going to have to do. Who knew that it was going to last for as long as it did. So when I signed up for it, that was the expectation. I was thinking I wasn't going to be around for anything on Friday, nothing with the kids on Saturday, and I'd be home, hopefully, depending on, if it's an East Coast city, in time to put them to bed at night and start over Monday morning. So it really worked out well. Hopefully that's like the one part of COVID I hope doesn't go away. I hope that's still an acceptable travel schedule for the crews. But if not, it was nice for at least 1 year.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine it probably would because, they're saving on hotels. I mean, it's easier for everybody. I mean, but who knows?
I asked Burkhart. He's been doing it, for over a decade. And I said, KB, I said, are we missing anything? He goes, trust me. He goes, unless you're one of those guys that wants to sit at the practice and you think you need to be seen because there's no information that we're not getting. We'd go down to the field an hour before the game and talk to the coaches and talk to players. Like, we didn't feel like when the broadcast started, we were missing anything based on being on a virtual Zoom versus sitting in their office or whatever. So it worked for us. Maybe, other crews do it a little different, but that was our process, and we feel like it served us just fine.
Are you watching a lot of film during the week?
I am. And the part that's kind of cool is, and as you know, when we watched film as players, the first half of the week, I'd be watching the opposing defense and personnel and scheme and whatnot. And then towards the end of the week, I would go cherry pick different tight ends. Personally, I would cherry pick different tight ends, see what they're doing with Gronk or see what they're doing with Gates or, at the time, whoever, and try to, steal some stuff and implement it. Now I'm really watching and studying all of the defense, all of the offense, sprinkling in a little of the special teams. So I'm actually studying more opposing offenses during the season, which is actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Having the ability to pick the coach's brain after watching practice, after watching game film for 3 days. Hey, Sean McVay, why are you running this out of this set? Why, so there's been a cool educational component to that. But the film stuff, I feel like if you don't do it, you really, when the game starts, you're struggling to know who's who lines up where, who's the slot, who's the nickel, what number are you expecting in the slot. Seeing their numbers, seeing their backs in the game and being able to kind of rattle it off, without having to look at your board is kind of, if anything, is just a great exercise on the personnel.
Yeah, I mean, watching, like you said, I would always just have to watch defense. So, it would be fun to watch offense and, do that and be able to, implement in that game and stuff. But how's the family? You said Kara said hi. Tell her I said hello. How's everything going?
She was pumped. She's like, "Why doesn't Jay ask you to be on his podcast?" I said, "It's a good question." So when I told her today that I was going to be on your show, she was pumped. So she says, "What's up?" She's doing great. The kids are doing good, man. They're getting big, into sports and activities. And my twins are now.
How old are they?
My twins are 9. So remember, our last year together in Carolina, Kara was pregnant. So she got pregnant that year. That was our oldest, Tate. So that was, I still remember coming into the team meeting after the Green Bay game and telling you that Kara was pregnant. So that was, what was that, 2010? Yeah, so he'll be 11 this June. So that was Tate. And then the twins were born my first year here in Carolina after I got traded. So they're getting big, man, 9 and 10. And
it goes by so fast.
God, how old are yours now?
9. Camden's 9. Jaxie's 7, and then Say's 6. 3rd grade, 2nd grade, kindergarten.
It's awesome, man. It's the best. The girls are the best, aren't they?
She is. She's a piece of work.
Tell me about it.
And she's with the 2 boys, so she can go tomboy yesterday. Or a couple days ago, she was with these little 4-wheelers, and she's out there barefoot, just kicking it on this 4-wheeler, and then she'll flip it. Then she'll flip it around and go inside and play Barbies for 4 hours. So
that's good.
Yeah, it is.
It's nice to be able to do a little bit of both.
It is good. Are they playing sports?
Yeah, my oldest right now is pretty deep into travel baseball. His team's flying all over the place. We were in Texas last week. We've been in Florida already. So he's on that track. He does baseball in the spring and the summer, and he'll play tackle football for the first time this fall. So we've been pushing that off. He's ready. He's in 5th grade. He'll be 11. So he's wanted to do it for a while now, and we've just kind of slow played it with the flag thing. And then TJ, my 9-year-old twin, he's playing baseball right now too. So he's on a little local travel ball team here that we just play kind of in the Charlotte area that I help coach with. And then Talbot, my daughter, she's playing soccer. So she pretty much plays soccer. She started, trying to test out some other waters right now. She's our best athlete. When people see her run around, they're like, what does she do? And I'm like, not a lot, not as much as she should be doing, because she's a stud. She just, like you said, she'd rather be inside playing Barbies and make believe. And, when she does play, she likes it. She doesn't have the itch yet. So we're slowly encouraging her, hopefully, to develop a little more of an interest. So we have all different opposite ends of the spectrum.
That sounds like my house. Sailor's the exact same way. She's probably has more of my genes, like body wise, than, she walks into kindergarten. It's like, who let the 2nd grader in here?
Right.
But she's athletic as hell, but she just doesn't want to do anything. I'm like, let's play soccer this year. She's like, no. All she wants to do is, the only thing we can get her to do is she rides horses. So she rides horses on Sunday and Monday. And I mean, she'll walk up to these giants, and I mean, she's not afraid of them at all. Hop right on, ride around. But she's, I wish I could get
it. It's a nice cheap sport. That's a nice cheap activity. So that worked out well. You picked a good one.
Yeah, horses. Yeah, that sounds like a great plan.
I mean, that's definitely a lot less expensive than youth rec girls soccer for $130.
Got a farm in Kentucky, and everyone's like, as soon as you get her into horses, like, you're gonna have to buy a horse. And I'm like, no way. I want no part of horses. And now we're probably gonna have to buy a horse. So that's happening. Yeah,
you buy a horse, you buy yourself some bourbon. That's a win. It's a win, man. It's a win.
Did you know that browsing online using incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? That's right. Without added security, you might as well give away all your private data to hackers, advertisers, your ISP, and other prying eyes. That's why I use Ipvanish VPN to make it easy to stay truly private and secure on the internet. Ipvanish helps you safely browse the internet by encrypting 100% of your data. This means that your private details, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be completely shielded from falling into the wrong hands. Ipvanish makes you virtually invisible online. You can use Ipvanish on unlimited devices without sacrificing on speed. Your computers, tablets, phones, even devices like your Fire Stick when you're streaming media. Whether I'm at home or in public, I don't go online anymore without using Ipvanish. Ipvanish is offering an incredible 70% off their yearly plan for our listeners with a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's just like getting 9 months for free. Stop sharing with the world everything you stream, everything you search for, and everything you buy. Take your privacy back today with a brand rated 4.6 out of 5 on Trustpilot. Just go to ipvanish.com/Cutler and use promotional code Cutler and claim your 70% savings. That's ipvanish.com/Cutler. Were you? How'd you slow play football for that long? Because Camden wants to play so bad, and I'm just like, bro, let's not do this.
I know it was hard. Our approach was always, and I would talk to him. I'd say, hey man, I'm all for you playing. I know you like it. We'd always done the flag thing.
Sure.
Our approach was like, let me finish playing. Like, let daddy finish playing so that I'm not saying I need to be the coach or I need to tell everybody what to do, although I probably would. But like,
yes.
But like, I just want to be around. My thought always was, if you put your kid into a basketball league or a baseball team and they get a bad coach
oh, absolutely.
There's really no harm, no foul, right? They might not learn how to shoot the ball. They might not learn how to dribble. And the next year you put them on a different team. My concern was always when I was playing in the fall and not around, to just hand him off for his first experience at 8 years old, whatever it was, tackle football. You've got to hope to God that you get someone who, not only that teaches them the right way, but like, no, someone's not going to get hurt, teaching them to tackle. Kids are getting tackled. You see all these stupid videos online of guys doing these dumb tackling drills with young kids. Like, I didn't want to scar him. I didn't want his first football experience to be a way that like made him not want to go back or maybe think of it a little bit differently. So like, that was always my take to him was, if we're going to do it, let's just wait that we can do it the right way. We can continue to work on running and catching and throwing and, all the different skills that go on with football. Like, football to me is always different than the other sports. Outside of quarterback, you can run around in the backyard and run and catch and develop your skills and then kind of transition into tackle. If if you're not playing baseball at age 8, all of a sudden you don't pick it up and make your high school football, baseball team at 17. It just doesn't work like that. So I would try to just explain that to him, but he's ready. He wants to do it, and we'll see how it goes.
What position is he going to play? Does he want to play?
He's lefty, which is interesting because, obviously every young kid wants to throw and they want to be the quarterback, and he's fine. He can throw the ball around a little bit. And, in baseball, he's a pitcher and all that, which is great. But, lefty quarterback is a little weird.
It is weird.
It's weird. And people are like, why? And I'm like, I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it. I mean, but it's just different.
I won't even watch a left-handed quarterback. Like we do some college stuff here, and like if a lefty comes across, I'm just like, let's move on.
And I don't know why. And why? I can't even answer. I don't know either.
I don't know either.
It just looks different. Yeah. He likes it. He can throw it. He can spin it a little bit. I always encourage him at the flag football. And my dad's coaching it, so Chris and Kevin, my brother, were quarterbacks. So My dad wants everyone to throw the ball except me, apparently. But, my thing with him, I was like, we can work on your throwing and you can work on spinning it and your footwork and your drops and all that. But, like, after you're done there, you need to go run your ass off. And you need to go run routes and you need to go catch the ball and you need to understand, body position and footwork. Like, let's develop all of those skills.
Sure.
Let's not ignore one aspect of it, because what I think happens to a lot of these young kids that now with all this 7-on-7 and these camps, these middle school kids that I only play quarterback.
Yeah.
You just stand there the whole day and you just throw the ball with no one tackling, no one hitting you, no one rushing you. And I just think it just develops. It doesn't develop the kids all around into what they need to be to play football. And so I always encourage him to just, hey, man, you're going to play receiver, you're going to play defense, you're going to come up and tackle. And if you want to play quarterback also, that's fine, but you're not going to just stand there and play quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I have a question for you, but I'm going to tell you a story real quick. My first tackle football experience, like we had to drive like an hour. It was me and 2 other guys in my class. And we get there, and it's our coach was named Joe. He was an old, like, rodeo guy from Texas. I mean, just hardcore. I mean, what year is this? This is the early 90s. I don't even know. And so I'm throwing on the side and stuff, and I wanted to be running back. And the quarterback from last year, he was there, and we're throwing. And they come up to me, and they're like, hey, you're going to be the quarterback. He's going to running back. And I'm like, no, I came here to be a running back. They're like, no, You're the quarterback. And so the other quarterback, they claimed that he didn't want to get hit, like he was scared to get hit. So they took his mouthpiece out, put a pacifier on his helmet for a week. And then whenever
you'd be thrown in jail nowadays.
Oh, jail. And then his graduation at the end of the week. This is really messed up. This is really, really bad, but I'm going to tell it anyway. They made the dude stand here like this. And 3 of the biggest dudes in the team got a running start and just smoked them. And they did that. They did it 3 times.
I love hearing those stories. I love hearing those stories and just imagining what would happen if that happened in today's world.
Jail.
My
jail.
God.
Go to jail.
That coach would be dead. He'd be in jail. He'd be canceled. He'd be everything.
I mean,
I'll never forget youth sports dude is nuts. I mean,
parents are crazy now.
Parents are crazy. There's a lot of bad coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we did our show. That's why we're building out our show. It's the whole idea of youth sports now and what they make these kids.
What do you think about
the whole thing?
What do you think? I mean, I think I know your take on it, but what do you think about like how everyone's getting so specialized in sports?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, and it gets younger and younger, dude. I'll tell you, like, there is an aspect of keeping up with the Joneses, right? So so how, in basketball, and we're even starting to see it with our oldest, Tate, where, all right, you want to play on the travel, high-level competitive baseball team. Yeah, great. He can play, great. But what about in the fall? Well, some of the kids might play football, and, like, fortunately, his team encourages the kids to play other sports and whatnot. But a lot of the other teams in the area, the coaches are saying to the parents, well, if you don't come around in the fall, it's your chances of continuing with the team in the spring because these kids are going to be here. They don't play other sports. So now these parents look around and they say, all right, I don't want to lose my spot on the basketball team or the girls soccer or whatever team it is. So if I don't do what you're doing with your kid, my kid suffers and is going to suffer the consequences and fall behind. So people are making decisions at an early age that they don't really want to make, but they almost feel like they have no choice.
Yeah.
And our approach has always been, we're going to encourage our kids to do an activity a season. And for most of them, it's sports, but it could be something else. It could be something at school. It could be whatever it is. Just they got to do something a season. And if you want to play the competitive stuff, that's great, but you've got to drive the ship. Because if we're going to fly to Texas and we're going to fly to here and all there, like, you've got to really be into this for our family to make this commitment. So those are our only 2 rules. And if you want to practice every day and you want to go to the batting cage every day and I'll be there.
Sure.
I'll do it. Like that to me is the fun part, but I'm not going to drag your ass out there. I'm not going to beg you. I'm not going to remind you. I'm not going to, I'm just not going to do it. And so I think what families are just sensing is, if I don't do it, Johnny's going to lose his spot to Joey. And then what do I do? So that's it. No more basketball because in the winter I'm doing baseball training or I'm doing speed and agility or I'm doing, I can't play summer baseball because what if he doesn't make the middle school football team? And I just look around and I say, that used to happen when we were in high school.
Yeah.
You went to a really good high school. Maybe there was a little of that where only a couple kids could be good enough to play multiple sports and everyone kind of found their niche.
Yep.
This is happening with 8, 9, and 10-year-old kids nowadays. It's wild.
It is wild to me. And I was reading a book, and it was talking about, basically specialization. And, they had this huge graph, and I think it might have been Malcolm Gladwell. I forget who the book was.
Was it Outliers?
No,
Outliers?
It wasn't Outliers. I'll think about it later today. I'll send it to you. But he basically was saying, the people that dabble in a lot of different stuff usually at some point outperform people that specialize. People that specialize, you kind of get here and then you kind of plateau, where these other people dabble, and then they just skyrocket in their 17 to 21. And I mean that's how it was you and me. We just played whatever the season was. You just played it, and then you specialize, and then you specialize later on in life.
Of course. I mean, I committed to go play. I mean, similar to you, I committed to go play college football. I knew from sophomore year in high school that football was what I was going to play. I was never going to be a college basketball player. I was never going to be, baseball. I was never going to do anything else. But my senior year, well after I signed to go to college to play, I was on my high school basketball team. I wasn't a great player, but I was playing with my buddies, and it was fun, and it was a nice break from football. Mm-hmm. And in the spring, I did track and field and ran and threw the shot put. And nowadays, when I look around at the high schools around here, there are very few kids. There's kids, Jay, that don't around here. I don't know what it's like by you guys, but here in North Carolina, we don't even have kids in football that play both ways.
Wait, really?
You only play wide receiver. What do you play? I'm a wide receiver. I'm like, well, what do you play on defense? I don't play defense. I'm like, what?
How?
So my brother Kevin coaches at one of the top public high schools in North Carolina. They are loaded with kids. His quarterback that he coaches is going to UNC Chapel Hill. He's a junior. He'll be a senior next year. They've sent wide receivers to Power Fives. I mean, they're just loaded, just a really, really top-notch program. They only play one way. So their starting corner, who's going to West Virginia, he's not your slot receiver. It's just the way it is down. And that's at the good schools and the bad schools.
But, I mean, I don't understand that because, I mean, the kid's probably one of your top athletes. So, why not get the ball in his hands?
I don't know. And it's just, and again, it's not unique to his school. They're just unique because they're fortunate that they have three Division I wide receivers, but they also have 4 other kids who played defensive back. So it doesn't matter. But even at the school that my kids go to, it's a smaller private school. The defensive tackle is not the offensive guard. and I, so you talk about specialization. We're now getting into the notion where there's specialization within sport. We went to a 10-year-old baseball tournament thing with this thing taken right out for, and there was kids there that were just POs. He's 10 years old. He's just I'm just here as a pitcher. I'm like, what?
How?
What are you talking about? You're 10.
I'd get so bored.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting world, and I think what a lot of families are saying is if we can concentrate the vast majority of our time to one skill, one sport, one entity, it gives us a better chance than spreading all of this time and resources trying to learn 15 skills or 3 different sports, and hopefully gives my chance for my kid to get a leg up. That's the only rationale that I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but again, what are the chances that this person, these 8-year-olds, I mean,
0.
Yeah. I mean, it's maybe 1. I mean, it's it's not happening. Why wouldn't, I mean, my thoughts are I want my kids to do everything so that they can figure out, all right, I like some of this. I like this. I like this. Maybe
it's so funny you say that. I had a conversation for You Think with Shawn Johnson, the Olympic gymnast, actually yesterday. And she talked about when she was a young girl, very different than the other gymnasts at her gym. Her parents made her do other sports until she got super competitive and training for all the elite stuff.
They're in Nashville now.
Yeah. I spoke with her. She was there in Nashville when I talked to her yesterday. Yeah. You know them well?
Yeah, they were in here, how long ago? A month ago, maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago.
She was great.
Oh, she was
super sharp. Yep. She was awesome. And it just got me thinking this whole specialization, in my opinion, and I mean, she started to other people. She
started at 2 or 3 or something crazy, right?
Oh yeah, it's a crazy story. Yeah, it was a fascinating story.
Weren't they giving her hormone depressants and stuff so she'd stay smaller or something crazy?
We didn't get into all that.
I might have made that up. I don't know.
I don't know. We didn't get into all that, but her story is fascinating. But when she said that, it kind of sparked the thought. And just when you said it too, the whole notion of like burnout, we're making these kids choose sports at 10 years old based on what we perceive them to be good at 10 years old, even if it's not the sport they like the most, as opposed to casting a wide net, playing, and maybe at 16, 17, your favorite sport most likely will be your best sport. It ties together. You put all your eggs in that basket and you play it. Those kids very rarely burn out because they're doing the sport that they love, but they had the chance to discover that love.
Yes.
They didn't have to pick it when they were 10 and someone made the decision for them.
Yeah, I love that.
It's really interesting.
It really is. And I, Ken was playing baseball, and I look out there, I'm like, some of these kids are playing year round. I look out there, I'm like, 95% of you aren't even going to be on your high school baseball team.
Of course.
I mean, it's like, what are we doing?
People always ask me all the time, they're like, what do you think? Like, why? Like, they ask me, like, do you think your kid's going to go, play professional sports and all that? I'm like, guys, I just want to be very clear. We take our sports serious. I make my kids do it right. I'm hard on them. I hold them accountable, all that stuff. The only reason we put all this time in is if I could have one wish, I want my kid to make his 8th grade basketball team and play with his buddies. And then one day, can he play on the varsity football team or can he pitch for the varsity baseball team? Like, that's it. To me, that's the goal of all this. And along the way, you learn the lessons, you play with your buddies, you have success, you fail, you cry, you bounce back, you get kicked in the ass. Like, to me, that's the journey. If anyone's doing this right now at 10 years old because they think it increases their son or daughter's chance of getting a scholarship or going to college, they're batshit crazy in my opinion.
Oh, 100%. I think you're totally right. Like, you learn life lessons through sports. And, like you said, you're going to fail. It's never going to be perfect. And that's life. So, like, you're going to figure some stuff out playing sports.
Yeah.
I mean, my kids probably aren't going to be in the NFL, probably aren't going to be in the MLB.
Neither am I.
That's just a fact of life.
But that doesn't mean that none of our kids should play sports.
No.
If the idea of youth sports was just to make a career out of it, no one should play. Everyone should stop wasting their time.
Well, that's kind of what it is now. That's what people are making it.
I know, and it's wild. I mean, that was the whole genesis for why we started You Think is like, I'm sitting around saying, like, what world am I living here? Like, yeah, I hold my kids accountable and I'm hard on them and we push them and like, but like, there's no grand visions that I'm doing this because in 15 years they're the number 1 draft pick in the MLB. Like, that's not even in the realm of conversations. Like, we're going out and having these conversations with people like Sean Johnson and whoever. Like, I just talked to Cooper Manning. His kid is like the number 1 football recruit in the country right now. Like, it's just really interesting to listen to people's perspective and share their insight because the world that is operating right now in youth sports is very different than the world you and I grew up in.
It scares me.
Uncut with Jay Cutler is brought to you by Progressive. Progressive helps you get a great rate on car insurance, even if it's not with them. They have this nifty comparison tool that puts rates side by side, so you choose a rate and coverages that work for you. Say you're interested in lowering your rate on your car insurance, visit Progressive.com to get a quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's rate, and then their tool will provide options from other companies, all lined up and easy to compare. So that all you have to do is choose the rate and coverages you like. Progressive gives you options so you can make the best choice for you. You could be looking forward to saving money in the near future. More money for, say, a pair of noise-canceling headphones, an Instapot, more puzzles, whatever brings you joy. Get a quote today at Progressive.com. It's one small step you can do today that can make a big impact on your budget tomorrow. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
So you guys started a podcast company, right?
Yes, we started a podcast company with Vince. Yeah, you remember Vince from those days. What was the Italian restaurant we used to go to that he loved? Not Volare, but like the one. It was a bit more. It was like in the basement. What was it?
Prosecco.
That's exactly what it was. I was thinking about that the other day.
It was on like Wells or something like that. Those were good times.
Did we have the best year, 18 months of all time?
It was insane. It was so much fun.
You know, a weekend I always think about was just like an impromptu blast. So we had that really random, or not random, but we had that midweek mini camp going into Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
So this would have been like 2010. And then on a whim, we're like, let's go downtown. And like we had no bags, we had no clothes, we had nothing, and we just ended up like jumping in our cars, going downtown, got a hotel. We went to North Ave Beach. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, we owned the beach.
What was the place? We owned, like, we played beach
beach
volleyball. We owned the beach. What was the restaurant called? Castaways?
Something like
that.
The big ass ship that just sits.
It looked like a boat.
Yeah,
Was it called Castaways? Maybe
we remember we were playing bags up there. Like we were literally.
That was an all-time weekend. That was. I think about that weekend a lot. We had a lot of those. I mean,
we did. I did. I did Waddle and Sylvie drunk that afternoon. I think.
Yep, promoting my concert.
Promoting the concert.
We were promoting my Darius Rucker show. That was when we walked back from. We walked back from Northern all the way back to whatever hotel we were staying
hammered
at.
Talking to Waddle and Sylvie. That was fun. But I mean, I remember those dinners in Prosecco with Vince. Like it was literally like we were. I mean, he's the exact same human.
He's the best
on the movies and off. Like it was like we were in Wedding Crashers, and he was just telling stories.
We had dinner the other night doing some promo stuff for the company. So anyway, so what happened was I was having dinner. He lives out in Manhattan Beach with a good buddy of mine who was my teammate Ryan Khalil.
Is he still married?
Yep, Vince. Yeah, he's married to Kai.
Yeah,
yep.
She's awesome.
Still married to Kai. She's awesome.
She's awesome. Yeah.
Yep, they got 2 young kids, a daughter and a son. Yeah, they're doing good. They live in Manhattan Beach, which is where my buddy Khalil lives. So we were out there having dinner, and I was like, "Hey, hear me out on this podcast idea that I have. We're kind of in talks with a couple different platforms, a couple different services about developing this youth sports idea that I have, and exploring different conversations with families. Long story.
Yep.
And they're like, you know what, like." Why would we sell that to someone else? They're like, between all of us and our resources and whatnot, like, why don't we own it, capture it, do it ourselves? So that was about a little over a year ago. So we built Audiorama, which is the media platform. And right now the only show is called You Think, which is the show that I host. And we go out and we explore everything you and I have been talking about. We talk to families and coaches and psychologists and just people who really understand the landscape and understand the issues that kids are having, the stuff that's the positive that comes out of it, all of it in between. And so yeah, Vince, Ryan, and I kind of went in on this, and it's been a lot of work, as you know. It's not an easy field to tackle. It's not easy to start a show from scratch, but it's been fun, and we've been enjoying it. But yeah, he's a great. I mean, we used to do the Pilates. That's how we met him, through his mother, and it was. He's just a really good dude. I saw him last week down in Miami. We had dinner, and he's just a ton of fun.
Yeah, I remember like he basically only communicated through email back.
He's got a phone now.
Does he?
Yeah, you don't have. Yeah, he can actually text them.
He had that crazy email address. I forget what it was, but it was something just the most random thing ever.
He's great. Yeah, he's got a phone now, so we're
perfect.
It's a little easier.
Exactly. So, I mean, have you enjoyed the podcast? Have you learned things? I mean,
I have. So our first conversation is with a guy named Dr. Michael Gervais. So I met Dr. Gervais. He's the sports psychologist. He works really closely with the Seahawks. He wrote a book with Pete Carroll. Works really closely with Russell Wilson and Olympians, and he's just a really, really sharp, insightful guy. So he was actually our first conversation for our first episode, and it was really just all the hard conversations, the decisions, what parents are dealing with, how to handle adversity with your child and communicate with the young. We really covered all of that. So those episodes actually dropped yesterday. Spoke with Jerry Rice. He raised 2 boys that both went on to play college football, and hearing him talk about sitting up in the bleachers. And I asked him, I said, hey, Jerry, like, all right, I'm your high school coach. We're going to role play this for a minute. I'm your kid's high school coach, and you're sitting in the bleachers, and I'm teaching your 2 boys that have Rice on the back of their jerseys how to run a post route, or run a slant. Like, how's that going to go over? Like, when they get home tonight and they're like, hey, what was Coach Olsen saying about your outside foot? And how, how do I coach? So, like, hearing him joke and, like, talk about how his boys and how he handled this as a dad and the lessons he learned and whatnot. So, we talked with Sean Johnson, who was a really interesting. That gymnastics is a whole different. You think we worked hard as kids?
Oh, those kids are. It's like they're slaves. It's insane.
Those coaches, and she talked glowingly about her coach, and just he really turned the sport on its head with the way he encouraged them to be a little more well-rounded versus some of the other elite gyms. So that was a great conversation. And so, I've learned a lot. And I'll tell you, I'll be honest, a lot of the conversations when I'm hearing people talk, I start reflecting. I'm like, I probably got to be better at that. Like, I don't do that. Like Michael Gervais, like, don't coach your kids.
Yeah.
The car ride home is the most valuable. I'm like, I'm 0 for 2. I'm 0 for 2. I didn't handle the car ride home last week very well. So it's been a nice experience, for me also to try to learn and improve and get better. And all the way, hopefully our viewers and everyone are having similar conversations and similar dilemmas in their homes and in their families. And hopefully they can draw on some of these resources to make better decisions for their kids.
I love that. I mean, that's Audiorama. You Think? That's the podcast?
Yeah, so You Think, presented by Invisalign. They were super pumped. They joined us before we even had a show. They're out there in the youth space trying to they have a strong passion and strong connections and ties in that space. So they kind of came alongside us to kind of launch this endeavor together. So that's been super cool. And right now with Audiorama, we just have You Think, and we're constantly exploring and talking to other people about bringing other content, bringing other interesting storytelling onto the platform, and see how it goes.
That's awesome. I love that. You're doing some positive change out there, so that's cool.
Appreciate it.
I think probably not all the viewers know, but one of your twins, TJ, had a heart transplant.
Yep.
June?
Last year, last June.
Doing well?
He's doing great.
It's amazing.
He was supposed to have.
It's an amazing story,
dude. It's a wild story. So, it was 9 years in the making. So he was born with a really serious condition, had open heart surgery when he was 2 days old. He only had half of a heart. Mm-hmm. His one half of his heart was non-functional. So they reworked his heart that only one side pumped, which was mind-blowing in its own right. So he had that at 2 days old. So he ended up having 3 open heart surgeries to rework the inner workings of his heart before he was 2. Then he lived for 6 months 6 years, with, in essence, half of a heart.
Sure.
And then we brought him in last May. The end of last May, he wasn't acting right. We could tell something was off. He was, it was discovered that he was in, heart failure in essence, and he was put into the ICU and put on the heart transplant list. And June 4th of last year, he underwent a heart transplant, and it was a hard road. I mean, they told us it was going to be a year, and it was going to be ups and downs in the first couple months with the medicines and the steroids and the immunosuppressants, and obviously doing all that within COVID was a whole nother challenge. So it was a tough road, but he's doing awesome. If you saw him today, if he ran into your studio right now, you'd be like, no, this can't be the kid. Unless you saw that, he's cut from his bottom of his throat to his belly button, you would have no idea. Plays baseball. That's really the only sport he really does right now, and kind of just enjoys life and does his thing at school with his friends. So he's a special little kid, and
that's awesome.
He's doing great. Appreciate you asking.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good stuff. What else you got going? Football's going to be cranking up here again soon. Yeah. Podcast, coaching.
Yeah, besides coaching 5 teams and trying to do podcasts and launch a company and host my own show and be a husband, and other than that, I don't have a lot going on. But no, it's all good stuff. The best part about retirement, I don't know how you feel. The best part about retirement to me is I only have to do the stuff I want to do.
Exactly. That's the best
there's
part.
no one telling me anymore what day I got to be where, and that's been the best part. I find myself doing a lot of things and being busy with maybe things I don't need to do, but there are things I want to do that I've never been able to do before. And so at least if I'm busy, I'm doing things that I'm busy under my own decisions,
Exactly.
Which has been cool.
Is Fox making you number 1 this year?
I read that they were making you number 1.
No. I'll be, you be 1. I'll come in at 2.
That's not that. Hey, where do we sign up? I'll sign up right now. To be honest, obviously there's a lot going on. Troy, what was that, 2 weeks ago when that story dropped? Yeah. There was a lot of whispers and things going on, and Amazon entering. So, so Troy's out the door. I think they're obviously trying to wait and see what's going on with Joe Buck and see. There's a lot of rumors and speculation. So we've had light conversations, nothing definitive, nothing really significant yet. I think they've got a lot of things they're sorting out on their end and whatnot. So obviously if the opportunity presented, I think we'd all be crazy. Who would not want to call Super Bowls? That's the obvious, but
got to do it.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things at play. So hopefully things get sorted out here soon, and there's some clarity and see where the dust settles. But yeah, I've enjoyed the call in the games. Burkhardt, you worked with him for a very short time, but
he's the best.
He's the all-time best.
I've known him best.
He called my high school football games for a local AM radio station when I was in high school growing up. I've known him for a long time. He's the all-time best.
It comes so natural to him. It's just so easy to whenever I was doing it, I was like, you have the hard job. Like, and they make it so easy for you. Like, they just puts it on a silver platter. And you just, say a few words and next play.
And he gets you in, he gets you out, he drives the conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know how guys like him do it.
I don't either.
I think what they do with the play-by-play, in and out of commercial breaks, the things being, the whole time he's talking, he's got the producer and director kind of giving him tease stuff in his ear, reading ads, reading promos. I mean, it's the traffic control going on in his head, and just when you listen to it, it's just so smooth and easy,
seamless. I think him best. He does baseball too. Is he still doing baseball? I think those guys.
He does the studio stuff. Yeah.
Those guys that can do baseball games and football, like Joe Buck, because baseball is boring as hell. Like, you're filling like 3 hours of just dead air. You
got to be real good.
Yeah.
You got to be real good.
You got to be on it. Well, I mean, it sounds like there'd be a spot. So tell Fox to slip me in there somewhere.
Done. I'll send him a text right now. Tell him we just made the lineup for him.
Boom. What do you think about A-Rod's new deal?
I'm not surprised he didn't retire. I'll put it that way. I think $150 million, I would have played one leg.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Sign me. Did you think he was going to leave?
I didn't.
I didn't either.
I don't know where, and this is just pure speculation on my part, but I just don't know where you go, right? I mean, firsthand, you want an offensive coach, you want an offensive driven system, you want great weapons around you, and you want to play where you can win Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
You're already there.
And now you make $50 million a year. So what else is there?
I don't. Yeah. That's.
I don't know where the only maybe
Tampa.
Maybe Tampa.
I mean, it's a new system. It's a whole. I mean, he's a West Coast system now. Bruce is. I think Bruce is probably numbers. I'm guessing, and they're driving it down the field.
Bruce was numbers. He was like Martz and that old stuff we did there. And I don't know. I want to say Leftwich may have implemented Byron. I think he implemented a lot of Brady's stuff. I
would think so.
That'd be an interesting conversation to have. But I mean, when you just look at a team that's ready to win, offensive-minded system, offensive-minded team, great guys to throw the ball to, good defense. Mm-hmm. Tampa was Tampa was something. I thought Denver. I think Russ going there makes a ton of sense. I don't think they're quite at that level yet. They're still kind of building that roster, but a similar type of system. With Hackett now coming from Green Bay to be the head coach there. So I think that's a good fit for Russ. There's just not a lot of those systems.
Why did Russ want out of Seattle so bad? I mean, he's got some freak shows around him.
He's got some freak shows. And somehow my headline, I did Coward yesterday, and somehow the people in Seattle lost their minds on me because I said it was like there was a JV roster and people took it out like I said the roster was bad. I said the roster was loaded. The year I was there, we had Lockett, we had DK, we had Dwayne Brown at left tackle, Chris Carson's a freak show.
Yep.
And they ran the system like they didn't have great players. That was the point I was making.
Who was the OC?
So it was Shoddy. It was Shoddy.
Yeah,
it was Shoddy the year I was there. They brought in somebody new this past year. I didn't know real well. The guy came from LA. Yeah. But I don't necessarily think it's even a reflection on any individual coach or I just think a defensive driven team is always going to have the philosophy. And we saw it in Chicago. And Lovey was a good coach. And Lovey, it's not a knock on any of these guys. Defensive minded coaches are going to always put the risk and put the team on the backs of what they know best and what they believe is the strength. And they're always going to make sure the defense is the strength. That's their baby. And as a result, the tie is always going to go towards being a defensive leaning team. And people take like offense to that. And I don't think it's a knock on these guys. I just think it's reality of
it's a fact.
It's just what it is. It's who these guys are. And
that's
what we went through in Chicago with Lovey. It's no different.
No. And I mean, and to your point, like Seattle, like they've got freak shows. Like they should be running that offense. I mean, it's a matchup game. So
of course,
so if they're going to double DK, all right, lock it, run around, and we'll throw it to you.
Lock it. Chris Carson's a stud.
Yeah. I mean, run the ball.
They got left tackle.
But I mean, to defensive coaches, I mean, I remember having a conversation with Lovey because I was not happy about the play calling, and it might have been, I forget, maybe after Dallas or something, and he told me like. Offensively, he goes, every play has a chance at being successful on offense. And I was like, I totally disagree with that.
That's not true at all.
I go, that's 100% not true. And he was like, yes, it is. And I was like, if you guys do what you're supposed to do, every play has a chance. And I'm like, no, That's not true. If they line up a certain way, they're going to take away a play. That's just how it is. But, defensive guys, like, it's just a different mentality.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look,
and I mean, I love you, respect the hell out of him. He was a good coach. It's just a different.
Yeah, and again, when we say stuff like this as offensive guys, of course we're biased. But when you look around the league at the way the system is, the way the league is transitioning, and the way the league's going, offense is driving the ship right now. It's hard to play defense. The rules are not set up for you. It's quarterback driven. It's quarterback driven as much as ever.
Yep.
It's an offensive league, and it's a passing game league.
Yep.
If you can't throw the ball consistently, first and second down, third down when you got to have it, in all situations, red zone, if you can't throw the ball, you might win regular season games. You might be in the mix. You might win 10, 11. It's going to be very, very hard for you to win the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Win in the playoffs.
Look at the KC and Buffalo game. I mean, they're airing it out.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. That's just the way it is. And again, it's not a knock on those guys. They know what they're going to bank on and lean on what has gotten them there, which has been incredibly great defenses and defensive minds. And I think Chicago was that way, just in the fabric of that organization, right?
Yep.
I mean, they just went out and hired another defensive coordinator as the new coach. They tried the offensive thing, didn't feel like it fit the organization and the culture there in Chicago. So now they're back with Eberflus on defense, and we'll see how it goes.
We will see how it goes. You miss playing at all?
I miss elements of being around the guys. I miss elements. I always enjoyed like the prep. I always enjoyed like the new challenge of the off season and getting ready for a new. I don't miss feeling like shit. I don't miss those last couple of years being banged up and just a 24-hour cycle of rehab and trying to just get back on the field that next weekend. Like I don't miss any of that. I like having my freedom. I like being on my own terms now. So I like anybody. I miss elements of it.
Sure.
Do I want to go back out there tomorrow and try it all over again? No chance. Zero chance.
Well, I mean, and you're on a team now. You're surrounding yourself with people, so you kind of get that team vibe. I mean,
totally.
That's what I get.
I'm connected to the game enough to kind of scratch that itch that I'm not like sitting there, reminiscing on what could have been or anything.
Yep.
Although I do reminisce about what could have been because I still think we could have been really good in Chicago.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, we were loaded there for a minute. It's a shame.
I mean, when we had all the guys on defense came back with Lack and Briggs and Peanut and Pep. I mean,
I look at that team and I'm just like, gosh, if we had,
we were close.
We were close. Yeah, if we had some stuff on offense, it would have been that. Because I mean, I think at that point you scored 24 points, you win the game. Yeah, 21 points, you win.
Yeah,
the game.
Our defense was really good. I mean, we had a good run that last year, 2010. We just came up a little short there and. That NSC, but I just think back, like even the years later, like as I would watch you guys from afar in 11, 12, and you guys, you had that one year, I think you broke your thumb, right? But you guys before that, you were ripping.
Oh, we were rolling. You
guys were good. Did you have Brandon yet?
Yeah.
Marsh?
I think so.
Yeah, I think you did. He came shortly after I left, right?
Yeah, him, Johnny Knox. I mean, we were rolling. We were like 7-2 or something.
Yeah, you guys were good.
8-3, and Earl was playing, and the game's over. I mean, it's game's over. It's a wrap. Like we're playing San Diego. It's a Sunday night or some shit like that. And I think we're just trying to get like one more first down. And Johnny Knox slant, let it fly, slips out of the cut, and literally hits the DB. I mean, he had to catch it. He didn't have a choice.
Right.
So he's going down the sideline. I'm chasing after him, push him, and just landed. And I go to the side.
I remember it.
I go to the sideline and I'm like, my thumb doesn't work. And they're like, well, can you finish? And I'm like, I don't know. Go out there, I try to throw, and Martz was calling it. And I walk over to, and I'm like, sideline, I'm like, hey, I can't throw. And he's like, can you throw a screen? And I was like, sure. And it was like third, and we were just trying to we were trying to get one more first down to get out of the game. Threw a screen, and Forte, we had Matt too. I mean, he was so good. He could go. He could do anything.
He was a stud.
Get the first down and go in, and they x-rayed, and like it's broken, and flew to. This is actually kind of a crazy story. Flew to Vail, did the surgery. Kristen flew in, and that weekend we found out that she was pregnant with Camden.
hell of a weekend.
So
talk about highs and lows.
Oh God, exactly.
Holy shit.
It was crazy.
Highs and lows. But yeah, I remember you guys were rolling there for a while. I'm not going to lie. I would look back and I'd be like, these motherfuckers.
He wanted us to lose every damn game. I know how it goes. I remember when I left Denver, I was like, "See, son of." They started off like 6-0 or something, and I'm like, "Damn it! I need them to lose."
And it's not like a personal thing. Like I never root against like your buddies. You never root against like your former teammates. You're just like, these guys sent me away.
Yep.
And now they're better without me.
Damn it.
You know what I mean? But we had a good run while it lasted. We had a lot of fun and some good memories.
Absolutely. All right. Well, for everyone listening, Audiorama, You Think podcast, Greg Olsen. You're going to catch him in the NFL season. He's probably going to be number one, doing the number one games, which is going to be fun, well-deserved. Thanks for coming on, bud. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man. Long time coming. Best of luck. I'm hearing nothing but good things about how the show's doing, man. So I appreciate you having me on, and
absolutely
look forward to catching up again here soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, bud. Okay, that's a wrap on Greg. The only question I probably didn't ask him about is his rapping days in Miami as G-Reg, but Google it if you want to figure that one out. He's doing awesome stuff. He's a great dad, awesome husband. I really excited to listen to his podcast. I think he's making a change in the world in that thing. You can see him on Fox here coming up soon. NFL is going to crank up again. He'll be on that. Check out his podcast, Instagram, all the things with him. He's a good one. He's a keeper. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit me up on Instagram. We've got Tony Robbins coming up. He's huge. No idea why he's in my podcast. I'm excited about it. And then we're going to keep rolling along. So let me know who you want to hear. Drop it in my DMs or whatever the version of that is on Twitter. And thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.